I'm Dingo Cannon, and this is Standing Ground, and this is Leaving Neverland Part 2. The most damning evidence yet, some will say. We're not here on Standing Ground, because here we go. Okay, my first question is, why on earth is the world believing this? Why are they believing two men over Michael Jackson's entire legacy? What happened to innocent until proven guilty? This has never been to court. Wade tried to take this to court and it was thrown out from lack of evidence. And then they get hold of Dan Reed and they make this documentary, and all of a sudden the world is believing this. This is Judge Dredd, judge, jury and executioner. This is an absolute travesty, and this should not go on any further. And I'm going to break down right here Leaving Neverland Part 2, and I have what I think is a world exclusive, what I think maybe no one has caught in this documentary. And I'm going to reveal right at the end what I saw in this documentary. So here we go. Let's break it down right now. So here's the other question. Why on earth, if we think this is the same timeline that Wade and Jimmy were young kids around 7 years old, they had similar experiences, being to Neverland, being with Michael on commercials and his music videos, but none of them has said they met each other. I find that very strange. It's very hard to believe that. What timeline were they in? Is this a parallel dimension? Because why throughout the entire documentary of Leaving Neverland, they never once mention each other? Don't you find that suspicious? So in Leaving Neverland Part 2, they said that Michael contacted them when he had the Jordan Chandler court case. And he said he contacted them that he needed them to testify and be a character witness for him in a court of law. Now, he already had Macaulay Culkin, and the news already reported that Macaulay single-handedly took down the jury and basically sealed Michael's fate as innocent. Just one guy on the strong testimony of Macaulay Culkin. So picture this. So he already had Macaulay, but he really wanted Wayne and Jimmy to testify. He really wanted their strong character reference that stood up against these allegations. Because Michael knew, without a shadow of doubt, that these two guys would help him in showing the world that he is innocent in child molestation. So if there was any doubt at all from the Jackson estate and Michael Jackson himself, why would he be calling these two young guys who are now more adults and asking them to testify? Because if he touched them, like the accusations now they're claiming, that leaves it open where they could just be so shamed in the court that they will just bring it out. Now that's a big risk. That is such a risk to take. What, Michael was willing to take that risk? I doubt that very much. He already had, as I said, Macaulay Culkin. So that doesn't make any sense at all. To me, Michael would be wanting to be far removed from them. If he did anything towards them at all, why would he want to bring them back into the spotlight? It doesn't make sense iota. Okay, and another part, Wade said in 2009 that Michael rang him up and invited him to his house. And he wanted to talk to him, he wanted just to chill and relax. But he said on the phone that Michael was so adamant that he bring wine. And he made the point in the documentary that Michael was pushing him to bring wine to his house. And that when Wade got to his house, he basically just grabbed the bottle, he poured it in this plastic cup and basically just chugged it down and went for another and chugged it down. Hello? Can you see the problem with that? Michael Jackson is one of the richest men in the world, and he had one of the best wine cellars in the world. Why would he be waiting for Wade to bring wine? Wouldn't he have wine in the house? Yet it seemed like he was just waiting for Wade to bring it because he had no liquor at all. Now come on. Michael would have had wine, and if he didn't have wine, he wouldn't be waiting for Wade to come to his house and bring wine. He would have sent one of his drivers out to get wine. See how that doesn't make sense at all? So Wade's basically, he's setting up that he's waiting for this wine and that it's itching. As soon as he got it, he's sculling down, and then he went up to his room and slept and never came back down. What he's setting up is, I believe, to show that Michael was on a downhill spiral. And he makes sure, adamantly says in the documentary, that I didn't see this part of Michael at all. I was shocked that he was drinking. Yeah, because you were with him only as a kid. Michael never gave you alcohol as a kid. Right? So you wouldn't have seen that at all, but you were shocked that he was drinking? Most adults here watching this drink. It's not a shock. There's drinking advertising in football, in soccer, in rugby. Now come on. You're so shocked that a grown man is drinking alcohol. I don't buy that for one second. You're just painting the picture that he's on a downward spiral. Get a grip, people. Get a grip. This is absolutely BS. Two other shocking things I saw on this Leaving Neverland Part 2 was the two mothers' reaction to Michael's death when they heard it on the news. Now, Jimmy's mother said that she was so happy when she heard that Michael Jackson was dead, and she was jumping up and dancing, and she said, finally this man can hurt nobody anymore, that he's dead. I mean, that's a pretty shocking reaction, right? Like, don't you think? Why I say that is because Wade's mum, on the other hand, said when she heard the news of Michael Jackson passing, she put on Michael's jacket that Michael gave her on one of the videos that he did, and she went to bed and basically curled up and cried, and she couldn't get out of bed for a week, in her words. So two bipolar opposite reactions to Michael's death, but both mothers facing basically the same journey, that they allegedly were in the house in Neverland and had no clue that Michael was molesting their children right in front of their eyes, right under the roof that they stayed in, that they shared with, that they let this man into their house, that they let their kid into the bedroom of Michael Jackson and let them sleep with Michael Jackson day in and day out every time they were in the same room. But they were claimed they had no knowledge, absolute no knowledge of any funny business, any child molestation, any sexual abuse of their children going on. Now, come on. Wake up to yourself. This is an absolute witch hunt, and it's an absolute travesty that they want to erase this great man's reputation and his contribution to the world through music, through inspiration, and through art. And everyone's jumping on the bandwagon here. From Oprah Winfrey to all the radio stations. They're jumping on the bandwagon and they want to erase Michael Jackson's history. And so when Michael passed, both Wade and Jimmy, they get on the video and they're looking very solemn. I mean, they've been coached, of course. It's a documentary movie. So they've been coached to act. They've been coached into bringing these emotions up and showing the tears. They're great actors. These are child actors. They've been acting all their life. This is not new to them. And if it's worth millions, you bet they're going to cry tears. Tears of gold. And they say, after the passing, they felt very isolated and alone, and they didn't know why. That they felt depressed, and that they couldn't communicate with people, and they didn't know their purpose in life. You know what? You know what? You ask anyone around late 30s to 40s. It's called a midlife crisis. But they're also acting. And I'm not taking away from real victims of child molestation, but this is not. This is clearly not. And if they felt depressed in any way of Michael passing, it's because, yeah, when you have someone that is so close to you and such a good friend and basically family pass away, you start questioning life. We've all had people pass away in our life, and it's tough. It's really tough. And I'm not saying it wasn't tough for these guys. They loved Michael. As far as even what they're saying in the documentary, they love Michael. But they loved him more, I would suggest, as a star. They got a little interaction with Michael, but that wasn't enough for them. Because Michael had to continue on with his life, and they had to continue on with them. What, was Michael going to babysit them for the rest of their life? He already gave them such a great start. The rest was up to them. They already got it. They already had that opportunity. Michael basically lifted them up, and he said, I'm going to lift you up. Now it's up to you to go and use your talents and show the world who you are. You're an individual person. You're not me. You're not Michael Jackson. But you're an individual, and you have great talents like me, like you do, like everyone else does. Everyone is good at something. And all you have to do is you focus on that something. And if that something is just being kind to someone and offering something good to the world, if it's just rescuing a cat from a tree, that's a superhero. That already, you've saved one life. You've affected the entire world of love. And that is enough. And that's what Michael was showing them. I'm going to show you a way. Here. Now you go and show the world. So here's another very interesting thing. Wade's brother said, this is when Wade first came out and said, yes, Michael Jackson did molest me and he did sexually abuse me day in, day out on every encounter that we met. And he said that he was in America because he came from Australia, and he said that his wife called him up And she said that she had a dream that Michael Jackson molested Wade. And what is this? Joseph in his coat of Technicolor dream coat? And then from that dream, basically, he got off the phone. This is the way they put it in the documentary. And he just turns to Wade, and they were at a food truck. And he said, Wade, my wife had a dream. And she said that Michael molested you. Is that true? And Wade turns around and goes, yes, it's true. Now, come on. Did a dream? A dream? I'm not saying these things aren't possible, but they're putting it in the documentary. It sounds very occultish. You know? It really does. That Wade came out because Wade's brother said his wife had a dream. And that's what brought Wade out, after years and years of denying it. And another thing that I noted very, very openly on the documentary was when Wade said he wanted to speak his truth, and it was true, he touched his face. Now, you know, I'm not an expert, but I've watched a few episodes of Lie to Me. And that is a sure sign of nervousness. He said, I want to speak my truth. And as soon as he did, he scratched himself. I'm just putting that out there. That's just what I noticed. When you go back and you have a look for yourself, because I'm adamant that I want everyone, Michael Jackson fans alike, from around the world to watch this documentary. Not to support HBO, but to get educated, to get smart, to realize you're being duped, to realize the world is being taken from a ride. And it smells and it reeks, so I smell a New World odor. So here it is. Right at the end of the credits, I said at the start of this video, I'm going to drop the bombshell. It's going to be a world exclusive right here on Standing Ground, what I saw in the documentary, in Leaving Neverland Part 2. So the end credits, it finishes, one half of the screen rolls down the credits. The other half is still pictures off, and you're not going to believe this. Well, you probably will. Wade burning Michael Jackson images in a fire on the beach. He puts everything from Michael Jackson doll to the Michael Jackson glove. And the first picture is a Michael Jackson album. And it's burning in the fire. It's an album like a record. And the fire's burning in one eye. Only one eye of Michael is shown in the picture. Now, I already told you that there was the one eye picture of Wade in the trailer. But the closing credits, there it is again. Identical. One eye Michael Jackson album burning in a fire. In a fire, people. And the last picture, and this to me is the most crazy of all. It had a child, maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I'm assuming it's Wade's son. And he had a hoodie, and on that hoodie there were stars. And the main feature star was inverted, and it was the figure of Baphomet. The satanic, occult, Satanist goat figure. And I'm not kidding. That's what I saw. That's what's there in the last picture in the documentary. And make no mistake about it. I promise you, they know what they're doing. This is not a mistake. These pictures, these things are very, very carefully sorted. And the Baphomet figure was the last picture on his child's hoodie. So please, please wake up. This isn't as it seems. There is something deeper, something sinister that we still don't know yet. Maybe we can never know why this is happening. Because the world has gone Michael Jackson crazy. Not in a good way, but in a crazy way, where they want to erase this man's legacy. And in my opinion, he has not done these things. So there it is. Leaving Neverland Part 2. And this isn't the end, believe me. It's just the beginning. What we're going to see now, every week in the news, is absolutely more crazy accusations. You're going to see them come out the woodworks. Be prepared. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, stand strong, but be prepared. Don't get angry. Don't get aggressive. Just use your education and use your mind. And you know, you're already woken up. And I hope that the world can wake up too. Because these are very, very exciting and important times we are living in. it's a very exciting time, and we're going to watch the world change. And I hopefully, if you let me, I can help report it here, and together we can help make this a better consciousness, a better reality, because that's all we got. This one is all we got, no matter what there is. If there's a different dimension there and a different dimension there, if the world is anatrove and we are living in fringe, this one for now is all we've got until we find out more truths. Please help us share this beautiful word. And please, if you like this, please, even if you don't, I'll continue to make these, but please hit the subscribe button. That would be really cool, and we would really appreciate that, and that will help us grow. And I, in turn, will help you grow, and I will helpfully share this information with you. I'm Dingo Cannon. It's been a pleasure. This is Standing Ground. This is Leaving Neverland. And you and me are in it. The future is an idea. Imagine it.